Welcome back to the NFL Slate Show here on the 1009 Network. It is week 7 of the league. Got one game going on tonight, per usual, on Thursday nights. Cardinals are currently up 28-14 on the Aints of New Orleans. The Cardinals have two pick sixes, one by our boy Isaiah Simmons. 25-point second quarter for the Cardinals. Obviously, 14 of those are coming from their defense, but Call of Duty lists Kyler is playing okay.
Yeah, I think the campaign dropped today, so maybe he's a more of a campaign guy than online. But in any event, he is anchored by the defense. As you mentioned, they had two pick sixes. Rodrigo Blankenship, 2 for 2 on field goals, one from just north of 50 and one from just south of 30, I think. So solid debut for him. And doesn't take much to be better than Matt Amendola, but he is certainly accomplishing that at least
Took
through
one kick.
right, at least 35 minutes into his Cardinals career. It's off to a good start. Saints probably gonna kick this in a minute from the seven, so we're looking at 28-17 with about 25 minutes left in the game. So
I got Cardinals -2.5, so I would like to win by 3.
yeah, I've got Arizona 2, and then I put them with the Sixers, who are a poverty organization and should be trusted for nothing because they are now 0 for 2, and I've been on the wrong side of both of those games so
Yeah,
far. So
we're clearly great at betting. We
that's just
we're
awesome.
trustworthy in our bets. Uh, so yeah,
I did
we
get
and we
4-1 last night in NBA, but yeah, I'm giving it back as they say, as we
yeah,
speak.
I was short on hockey today. I know this is NFL, but literally these games just ended. I had a live over for the Penguins and the Kings at 7.5. Ended up being 7, and then I had the Dallas Stars money line. They lost in overtime. So yeah, rough bets,
Ba-
but
Bailey is the live bet king of the NHL. So much so that he may honestly start to sell them because they're that good, especially when he
except for
tells
tonight.
no one about them. The issue is he told me about them tonight. That's why they're losing. Otherwise, he would probably be 4-0 right now. So, um,
Somehow I'm better at NHL than I am NFL. Um, just another disappointing week for yours truly. Um,
you did get one though. That's a step.
yeah, yeah,
That's a
yeah.
step.
Um, our straight up picks. Um, Grayson with a Grayson and Jacob both had a hell of a week. They both went 4-1, only losing the Ravens game. I went 2-3. I lost the Jags, the Ravens, and the Chiefs, unfortunately. So I'm 19-11. Grayson is 22-8. Very impressive. And Jacob is 15-15.
So we're at 500 or better. I'll take that absolutely through 6 weeks.
Yeah. And then bets. Grayson went 2-1. He's sitting at 9-9. Jacob had was 1-2. Went he's 6-11-1, and I went 1-2 at 3-15. So bounce back week.
Yeah, I mean, I did say if I faded your picks, they would go 3-0. I didn't. They went 1-2. But one's bigger than zero, and this week will get you to 2-1 and get you back rolling the right direction.
Are we even sure? I'm not even sure. I like
I
these a lot better this week.
Yeah,
What I'm
I will
looking at
say
so
that
far.
me being exactly 500, I think in college and NFL is just it fits.
Yeah.
I've had great weeks. I've had horrible weeks. I started at 0-6 in college, I think, so I'm much more impressed with
Yeah.
myself on that one. NFL, I started hot and I've come down a bit, but I feel good about the
You
three
ain't
we'll get
winning, but
to.
you ain't losing.
Yeah, I'm getting juiced out essentially, which like could be a lot worse. Yeah, shout out to the Giants last week. I picked them to lose, but I did also take them to cover on the side, and cover they did. So credit to me for the Ravens being bad, and also credit to me for still picking them to win for some reason. So, and they're on the picks again this week. So I mean, it's a slate. It's NFL football. I wouldn't call it one you clear plans for, cancel on the pumpkin patch, apple picking, whatever god awful things you're dragged off the couch to do this time of year. Bailey's more of an expert in that department than I am, but it's a slate. I will say that Bailey's Panthers are again featured in the early windows. Some decent division matchups as well. The Panthers included in that. Some interesting conference matchups: Lions, Cowboys, Falcons, Bengals. Um, some games we left off the picks here in a minute. But it's a solid. It's an okay slate. It's
It's
worth it's worth
it's
your
no
attention.
5 top 25 matchups.
No, I will say college, as top heavy as it is, the top of the slate is still much better than this week's NFL slate.
Yeah.
But witching hour remains undefeated. Doesn't matter who's playing. There's always drama, and Scott Hansen always has us covered. So it should be a good Sunday again for sure.
Yeah. Another week of 7 1 o'clock games and 3 4 o'clock games.
Right,
They need
we're
to be
squarely into bye
switching that up.
season, so that will
Yeah.
be lopsided for the near future.
So witching hour will definitely be hot.
Oh, 100%. The late slate, like Bailey mentioned, only 3 games, but I mean, it's another week of the good, the okay, and the atrocious. We get another good Chiefs matchup. Chiefs Niners out in the Bay. The Niners, one of the most injured teams in the NFL, I think, pretty easily to this point. So hopefully they get some guys back in that lineup. Jets Broncos. Can we experience a 5-2 Jets team? Is that real life? Is that? I mean, it's on the table.
That would be that, and the fact that the Giants can also be what 6-2,
Six
five and
and
two,
one. Yeah.
6-1. Yeah,
Yeah.
those two records don't make any sense whatsoever. But
No. Um, yeah. I mean, the Jets up in Mile High against Russ and the Broncos. That's a pick 'em
is
at
he
the
playing?
moment. He'll play. He'll play. I don't. I don't think he'll miss time. I think he's practicing this week, at least limited so far. So that's a
Mm-hmm.
decent indication. And then the atrocious is Texans at Raiders. And if you are watching this game at any point, I'm
You have
sorry.
problems.
I don't
You're a
think
degenerate.
it'll even be featured on Red Zone just because of how horrible of a game that is. I mean, you've got talent on both sides. Damian Pierce, an exciting rookie running back for the Texans. You got Josh Jacobs, the best receiver in the league, I think, still. Devontae Adams over on Vegas. But, I mean, these quarterbacks are both horrible. The teams are combined 2-7-1 to this point. And the Raiders are 7-point favorite at home. Why the hell they're 7 points better than anybody escapes me, but we certainly will not be picking that game. It's, again, that might be the worst game of the day, to be honest.
Yeah, I would say so.
That, yeah.
You would think. I mean, Browns Ravens, bad game.
No, that's a good game. I think it's solid. I mean, I hate the Ravens because I somehow continue to pick them to win, even though I get on here and tell you how bad they are every week. But also, Jacoby Brissett is the worst quarterback in the history of the NFL. So who
Yeah, you're
knows?
just not figuring that out.
Well, yeah, it took me 3 weeks betting on him, but yeah. I mean, if the Ravens are winning, well, I bet the Browns. If the Browns are winning, well, I bet the Ravens because these two teams are maybe the worst in the NFL with leads. So it's I don't know who is going to win that game. That's one we circled for picks later on, but that's another big division one. As
Yeah.
these, especially in the AFC North, these teams kind of slowly march through the season. No real separation. I think the Ravens and Bengals both 3-3 sit atop the division. The Steelers and Browns both at 2-4. So the whole division's within a game. The Steelers, their 2 wins have been just insane. Honestly, I mean, beating Tampa last week, they are featured Sunday night game down in Miami against hopefully healthy in air quotes Tua. Seems like he'll be on track to play this week. Tua, Mac Jones, Dak Prescott, all looking like they will be back this Sunday. I don't know if Mac Jones deserves to play this Sunday, but
No.
he will be available. They play this week? Am I an idiot?
Yeah, they got the Monday night game. It's against the Bears, so that's probably why you're forgetting it.
Yeah, I didn't quite scroll down far enough. I should forget that game's going to be horrible too. Bears Patriots on Monday. We leave the Monday game off of the picks by default, but if we didn't, it still would not be on there because that game is terrible.
Yeah. Got Bucks and Panthers. Gross. Tampa's an 11-point favorite right now, which I thought 10 was too much last week with the Rams and Panthers, but
Well, it should have been, to be fair.
Yeah. Um, and after all the shit Tom Brady's going through this week, I would not want to be on the other side of the ball against him.
No.
Falcons and Bengals in Cincinnati. Bengals are currently a 6.5 point favorite. The Falcons are the most run heavy team this season, surprising with some of the weapons that they got. But look at the quarterbacks and you understand.
Right, exactly.
So Bengals looking to stay hot. Got Lions, Cowboys, -7. Like you mentioned, got the return of Dak. Um,
DeAndre Swift, potentially
yeah.
another big name coming back for that game. It's on my favorites, so it goes to the top of the slate, and I forgot about it. But my Chargers do host Geno and the magical 500 Seahawks.
Don't write back.
I I don't know. We had better win this damn game. I'll say that. I've sat here and said that we will try to lose the last 2 weeks. That is exactly what happened. And in true miraculous fashion, we won both those games. So I will absolutely take it. We sit 4-2, just a game better than Seattle. We need this one. I'll say that. I think the Chiefs get it done. That won't reveal too much for later on, but yeah, we've got to keep pace. We dropped the first of two head-to-head matchups. Unfortunately, Mahomes set a record with 6 picks called back due to penalty, so didn't come out that one on top. But we did take care of Vegas and Denver in the first pass out west. So again, with these division races, you just kind of go tit for tat every week. Kind of do a little bit of scoreboard watching. We'll kick off about the same time Sunday, so that won't really be too possible. But yeah, we can't control our own destiny yet. We're gonna have to beat them later on in the season. But in order to set that up, we gotta keep winning these games, especially against the Seahawks.
Yeah. So, then also Packers Commanders. Um, yeah, it's just a weird weekend. I
That's
mean,
probably the two most underachieving offenses to this point.
yeah,
I mean, that's rough.
yeah. It's just like a with all these bye weeks. I mean, we got the Bills, Rams, Vikings, and Eagles. So three good teams, one defending Super Bowl team.
Right.
So you can see where that is going to cause some of the boring games, but it's still football. We'll still watch it.
Right. And some of these TD
Something
spread
crazy is going to
games.
happen.
I mean, we saw last week what 5 early window upsets. So I mean, it's
Yeah.
now granted, I think one of those was above a TD, and that was the Steelers beating Tampa Bay. But there's a lot of potential here. I mean, we got
Oh,
2.5, a 4.5, a 3, a 6.5 that technically ducks under that TD number. Lions Cowboys right out of TD. I mean, that Lions offense was swift. I'm telling you. I know Goff isn't. He's no Matthew Stafford, but with Amon-Ra and Hawkinson and Swift and Jamal Williams also in that backfield, that Lions offense. And we saw it early in the year, that shootout with Seattle they had back and forth. They can score some points. So
oh, there will be points scored. Hopefully.
definitely. So yeah, that's the slate zoomed out, and now we will zoom in to the 5 games we think are the biggest this week. Again, not the best slate, so these aren't all barn burners, but we did circle 3 of the 5 in the early slate. The first of 2 division matchups early on. Colts Titans in Tennessee. The Colts, like I mentioned earlier, gonna need Jonathan Taylor and now Shaquille Leonard. Hopefully they get both of them back. We get a great game out of these two. But who do you think wins this one?
I need Matt Ryan to have a couple good games in a couple fantasy leagues that I got, but I don't know. This game with Derrick Henry, the way he's playing and the way Jonathan Taylor is not playing, give me the Titans. It's going to be an ugly game, I feel like, but big divisional matchup. I'm going with the Titans.
Yeah, I mean, I think home field is big, especially in these AFC South battles we've seen over the years. They've turned in some good ones, even when the teams themselves maybe aren't this good. They both have 3 wins, 2 losses. The Colts have not had a bye yet. They did tie Houston in week 1, so the record's essentially the same. I'm going to take the Colts, though. I know they're banged up. Took them last week. It worked out. It took Alec Pierce very, very, very late in that game to get it done, straight up and against the spread. But I'm going to take the Colts again.
Yeah,
Hopefully, Leonard and Taylor will be suited up in pads in at least a limited capacity, if not a full go. They're both back at practice this week, so hopefully they are trending towards being active and pitching into a big division win for Indianapolis.
yeah. That's just an ugly game in general. Like
Oh,
I
absolutely.
see
Yeah.
both sides of it, so that's just one of those toss-up ones.
Right. Another game with a short number in the early window, not a division matchup, but it's a big one. The 5-1 New York Football Giants head down to Jacksonville to face Trevor Lawrence and the 2-4 Jaguars. Jacksonville started 2-1. They've since dropped three in a row, but they find themselves 3-point home favorites against the Giants. Who do you think wins that one?
I definitely don't think the Giants are a 5-1 team. Um, I mean they've played well up to the season, but I think Daniel Jones is going to Daniel Jones at some point. And the way I mean Trevor's playing good, not great. If the defense steps up a little bit, and if Travis keeps running the ball the way he is, um, I'm going with the Jaguars. It's a home game. It's tough to come all the way down from New York, where it's been probably a little chilly this week, all the way to Jacksonville. Give me the Jags, and I'm going with Travis scoring again. I'm gonna ride that until he scores.
I will be with you on ETN in the end zone. I will be with you on the Jaguars in the win column. I think the weather is a decent point. It's getting a little chilly in South Carolina, so that's how you know it's getting subarctic up near where the Giants play football. I don't think Jacksonville will be the same. So maybe, I mean, I know the Dolphins perfected this somehow, where it's 30 degrees warmer or on the other sideline than theirs, which I don't know how it's allowed, but it works and it has had an effect. We saw the Bills in that big matchup. A lot of their guys struggling with the heat. Those rubber turf pellets can get extremely hot, so maybe some of that plays into this game as well. But I mean, you mentioned it. ETN running really well lately. His role's increasing by the week. James Robinson still more than capable as a complimentary guy. I don't think either one sees full control of the backfield yet, but I think even as a tandem, they're going to do enough here. The Jaguars top 10 against the run. That Giants team runs through Saquon on offense, literally.
Okay.
Not a ton of playmakers outside of him on that offense. And again, if Daniel Jones is forced to beat you, it doesn't happen all that much, even with them starting out with wins in 5 of 6. I mean, we saw it against your Panthers. They were very, very fortunate to win that game.
Field goal win.
Right. So I think the Magic, I mean, even at 5-2, if you're a Giants fan, that's cloud nine. I think the Jaguars climb back closer to 500 and that little losing skid and win on Sunday.
We riding with Trevor.
Yeah. Second division matchup early, a little bit bigger of a spread. Very important game still. It is Jacoby Brissett, the interception machine himself, and the Cleveland Browns heading down to, or I guess across to Baltimore to face Lamar and the Ravens at 1 Eastern. Like I mentioned, that is a 6.5 point spread in favor of the Ravens at home right now. Who do you think wins that one?
Is it safe to say we're now a anti-Browns podcast except for BZ?
I am sick and tired of the Browns. Yes.
Yeah, give me the Ravens.
Yeah. Out of
I'll
nothing
keep it simple.
beyond spite, give me the Ravens. I don't care. They lost last week. They didn't look as bad as the Browns did, losing $1 billion to 15 to a third string rookie quarterback. I'm so tired of the Browns. I will stick to, I guess, dying on the hill that they win this division by some God given miracle, potentially in the form of Deshaun Watson saving them from themselves and playing Brissett, which, again, uh, it's a great time to be in Rocky Tops and maybe throw Josh Dobbs in there because, I mean, Brissett's horrible. If he goes into Baltimore and wins, then fine. I'm at least hedging my bet with the division, going with the Ravens here. So if they look like crap again, at least I get the pick right. But Ravens are the much better team. The Browns have the talent. They just don't know how to get out of their own way and avoid their quarterback shooting them in the foot. So yeah, give me the Ravens at home.
Yeah, we're like I said, anti-Browns. I mean the Ravens. They're going to be a good team. They've played some tough opponents, but they're going to start clicking, and then they'll probably end up winning the division somehow. Even though think the Bengals will. But we talked about it on the pod that division's up for grabs.
Right.
But yeah, Ravens.
Yeah, through
easily.
6 weeks, pair of 4-2, or a pair of 3-3 teams, and a pair of 2-4 teams. So that division is everything but decided. But yeah, um, third game, we are looking at a Chiefs game being by far the best in the middle slate, more than likely. Not the 49ers this time, though, and they're on the road this week, but is the Chiefs in the Bay against the Niners. The Chiefs currently a 2.5 point favorite on the road, which, given the just incredible amount of injuries that have hit this 49ers team on both sides of the ball, I think they're down 6 starters entering the loss to the Falcons and exited down double-digit starters. So hopefully they can get a bit healthy, and this game will be as entertaining as the Bills game last week with the Chiefs. But who do you think comes out of this one?
Um, I was trying to look up stats for like what Patrick Mahomes is after recording a loss. Um, because I feel like he can come
I'd
back big and
imagine it's
win.
pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But the only thing that came up is Patrick Mahomes is 54-15 in losses in his career. So I don't know what that means.
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. Uh. That was a tough loss after coming across off the Bills. They were right there. They were driving. He turned it over. Um. And the Niners, they're one of the worst injury plagued teams for the past recent memory, past couple years, and they're banged up now too.
Yeah,
I'm going to go with the Chiefs. It's a safe pick. I don't think anything Niners are going to be able to do is going to win them the game. Jimmy G is just a game manager, so give me the Chiefs. You can
yeah.
cut out that part.
I think the defense, when healthy, best defense in the NFL. I know the Steelers may have an objection to that, so I could just, I could narrow it down to the NFC. But extremely talented unit when healthy. Unfortunately, they're not. And a guy you don't want to play with injuries is Patrick Mahomes, especially off a loss. I don't have that number in front of me off a loss, but I imagine it's pretty good, even on the road, and a tough game for them. I'm a bit surprised to see them favored, but again, just speaking to what that Niners roster has gone through as far as injury-related turnover, unfortunately. So uh, Jimmy G against Patrick Mahomes, Jimmy G with a better defense, but if they're not out there playing, they can't be that much better. So I will also take the Chiefs to get it done.
Good, good bet. Good bet. Not bad
Um,
pick.
Last game we have circled, the last game we will watch on Sunday. It is the night game. It is the Steelers coming off a huge win against Tampa Bay last weekend, traveling down to Miami. And it looks like Tua is going to be clear to play. Um, I just hope in any event, when he does play, he is healthy, that he can stay on his feet and that O line keeps him upright and he can avoid any further injury because, I mean, we've only been through 6 weeks and that's already one of the more terrifying injury situations in the NFL, even in recent history. So, yeah, Dolphins, TD favorite at home, getting their QB back. They've got the burners in Hill and Waddle. Gesicki, who may leave in a trade, oddly enough, um, a part of the offense for at least another week, it seems like. So, who do you think wins this one late?
Um, Obviously it's big if Tua does play. I think it helps me feel greater about this pick. Steelers, I mean, yeah, they've won a couple games, but I mean, they were against the Patriots, right? And they are not the greatest of teams.
No.
Give me the Dolphins. The Dolphins, they're a different offense when they got Tua in the game, like you were mentioning. And it's in Miami, so give me the Fins.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Dolphins too. I think the Steelers. I know they're coming off a huge win. That just almost leads me more towards this. It's been
Yeah,
a tale of 2 weeks for them. We saw them get destroyed by Buffalo, and although I said it all week, how often do you see Mike Tomlin teams embarrassed back-to-back weeks? That's exactly what happened. They came out, responded, got a big win as the biggest underdog of the weekend, I think. So I don't think it happens 2 weeks in a row. I think this is a happy medium. I don't think they get blown out, but I don't think they win outright either. So something firmly in between their last 2 weeks, but I think it is a Dolphins win in the end.
yeah. So pretty much on the same page for all of them except for the Titans and Colts. Um, like
Yeah.
we mentioned on the college one, we'll get Jacob's picks, but nothing, not a crazy no crazy games, no tight games really. I mean, I guess point wise they are tight, but logically we don't think they're tight.
Right. And then a lot of times that ends up being the best Sunday of the whole year. So I mean, it's truly any given Sunday. But yeah, with that being said, moving on to the picks, we got another three for you this weekend. Bailey is on the road back to 500, 2-1 or 3 in a week at a time. Hopefully, uh, the first of which happens this weekend. So go ahead and start us off.
I like to say that I feel slightly more confident in these picks this week, but I know that's going to turn completely on its side probably in the first game. But
Nah, come on, we got it.
I don't think. I mean, I don't think. I think we all know the Commanders are just about the second worst team in the league, if not the worst. Um, and Aaron Rodgers is still Aaron Rodgers. I think he gets back in the saddle with the win. Give me the Packers minus 4.5.
Yeah, I mean, this is the lowest of buy low spots for this Packers team. Two puzzling losses to the pair of teams up in New York. The Giants in London 2 weeks ago, and then honestly got almost blown out by the Jets last week. Lost by I think 14. So uh, yeah, Hall of Fame QB playing a much worse team in the Commanders. That team's got some talent, but they've also got issues all over the place. Starting at QB, which is the least of the Packers' issues. So I think that's a good one. Um, I'm going to start with a game we've already told you who's going to win. I think this team also covers, and hopefully an ETN touchdown is the difference. But give me the Jaguars laying the field goal at home against this Giants team. I think, like my beloved Kansas Jayhawks, I think the magic ends after 5 wins, and the Jaguars get it done at home. Win, get back on track, and then cover the field goal spread.
Yeah, I like that bet. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm taking Travis to get a touchdown. Um, that just seems like we've said it multiple times. The Giants' luck gonna run out. I think Dable's a great coach, but Daniel Jones is going to Daniel Jones, and we're going to see his ugly skills running around like a gazelle out here.
Right.
So yeah, I like that one. Another one that I like. It's not the greatest game, but it's a good game. We think. Um, from the other side of the field in the Meadowlands, I'm taking the Jets +1 over the Broncos. The Broncos are. I don't know how they're favored in this game. I know it's at home, but what the product they have put on the field for the past 6 weeks, and how the fact they have 2 wins. Give me the Jets +1. They look good. They got weapons all over the field. Zach Wilson looks pretty good. Their defense is stepping up. So yeah, I'm going Jets +1.
Yeah, I think the Jets are the better team. I will say, as far as the number is concerned, maybe the elevation is worth that point, maybe 2 points. You tack that on the home field, it's usually three-ish points in the NFL. That Denver defense is good. We saw it against the Chargers, even without Keenan Allen. They held us in check most of the night. Took a muff punt, set up a field goal to escape that one with the win in OT. But I mean, I asked you before we started recording if you had the Jets. You said yeah, so I'll let you have that one. Otherwise, I think I'd have it too, honestly.
Probably should still have it. Back me. I'm the smartest better in the land.
I I don't know
So
about
yeah,
that.
that I just jinxed that bet. It's gonna lose.
Unless we start deleting some tweets over at the 1009. I don't know if I can endorse that one, but I will take another short underdog on the road as well in a division game. Like my first bet with the Jaguars, I like the Colts +2.5 against the Titans. I think they're getting healthy at the right time. Hopefully, looks like Taylor and Leonard both on track to play. If they're up and in pads, I like this bet even more because this could move towards a pick 'em. That's how impactful both of those guys are on each side of the ball. I think Tannehill is horrible, especially without AJ Brown in town or anyone else really to throw to. The defense solid, but I think the Colts continue to get back on track and get this one done on the road in the division.
I respectfully hope you lose that bet. We you have a pick based off of one of the, or you have a bet based off one of the picks that we're doing. I'm going to follow that same suit, and I'm going to go out to San Francisco, and I'm going to take the Chiefs and the points minus 2.5. We talked about it. The Chiefs are just injury riddled. Um, the Chiefs. The 49ers are injury riddled. Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes. He kept them in that game last week after even turning over the ball. But give me the Chiefs minus 2.5.
Yeah, I like that. I'm pretty high on this Niners team. I still think they're one of the better in the NFC. I will say that obviously we've said it a million times now. The injury bug shows them no mercy year in, year out. Them, Baltimore, and my Chargers, unfortunately, seem to be in the crosshairs every single season without fail. And I think that we saw it last week. They lost to the Falcons. I mean, that's if that's any indication of how impactful the injuries are, then I don't know what to tell you. So I like the Chiefs bet a lot.
Thank you. It will lose.
Um, my third and final one, I'm going to take another favorite. It is a team that one of us likes to win the division. It's not the Browns because they're banned and I hate them, but I hope the Ravens win by 50. It is the Cincinnati Bengals, 6.5 point favorites at home against the Falcons, who are fresh off of a win last week against the Niners. I think on the road now in Cincinnati. That team needs a win to keep pace with Baltimore, who I also expect to win in the division Sunday. So I think they get it done. It was very late against the Saints last week that Jamar Chase had that 60-yard TD that ultimately won the game. I don't think it'll be that stressful this week for Cincinnati, but this Falcons team we've seen week in, week out. ATS Kings 6-0 against the spread despite 3 outright losses. So uh, they love to score some fourth quarter points, but a lot of people have exited the stadium. So I'm hoping Cincinnati will shut the door and the Falcons will fail to extend their ATS win streak to start the season.
Um, Falcons or not Falcons. The Bengals won me. I think the only better one last week. Um, so yeah, let's keep riding Joey B. I know Jacob would ride him. Oh, oh,
He's
oh.
not here to defend himself, but I can't say he disagree. So
He'd probably agree.
right, and then say some stuff I'd have to cut. So thankfully,
100%.
I will not have to do that, and hopefully some of those TDs are aimed towards T. Higgins this week. I know Jamar Chase had at least 1 or 2 last week, so yeah, dynamic duo out there. I think they're enough. Even with Cal Pitts as the extra O lineman to the delight of fantasy owners everywhere. But yeah, so that's 5 picks each, 3 bets each, like we mentioned for college and earlier on this one. We will have Jacob's picks for you on Twitter before these games get kicked off, and then of course we will recap them as well, like we do every week. You got anything else, Bailey?
No, not really. Slow slate of NFL, so I'll probably be watching a little bit on the way home Saturday or Sunday, but
Right.
looking forward to another great weekend. Finally get back up, get to a Clemson game. I need to go to a Panthers game this year, no matter if we're bad. It's just still cool to go to an NFL game.
Right, of course.
Yeah, I mean that's about all I got. Late night for us, so I'm starting to be drowsy. 5 a.m. comes early. Um, so if I sound like a complete idiot in this episode, that explains it. I am tired. But yeah, another great weekend that we're looking forward to. Football is football. It's already week 7, so time is flying.
Yeah, season flying by, approaching the halfway point. It'll be here before we know it. But for now, if you're with us on Apple and Spotify, we appreciate it. If you're here just for NFL, that's fine too. If you are not aware of other college show, it's the same thing, just split to make it easier for you guys to find. Same format, all that good stuff. It's also on Spotify and Apple, just like everything else. And then, of course, on YouTube. If, again, for some reason you decide you want to watch this. And then, like we mentioned a couple times now, just to make sure, tweeting these out, recap them in full transparency, whether they're good, bad, or ugly, at the 1009 on Twitter. And that's the best place to find all this stuff, honestly. So I think with that, we're going to wish you guys good luck if you tail us, especially Bailey. You're braver than I am. Real quick, NBA for Friday, if for some reason you decide to get some action before the football weekend. These are all road favorites, so tread lightly. But love the Pelicans -6 in Charlotte against the Hornets. The Bulls only a point favorite right now in DC against the Wizards, and then the Suns -4 out in Portland late. Those are 3 NBA ones that I will probably be involved in. So if you're into the on the court action, then that's where I'm looking for tomorrow night. But yeah, we will see you guys on Tuesday.
I'm looking quick. Give you a lock.
Give us one. Give us one.
Give you a lock. Stall.
This is a genius in action. I would never cut this.
This is a guy that really does not follow a lot of NBA, but
Who are the Kings playing tomorrow? Come on.
I think they're off. So I'm gonna go. My Kings are off. It looks like. I'm going with the Hornets over the Pelicans. Just straight up money line.
That's bold, and I'm gonna hate you if you're right because I'm a huge on the Pelicans this year. They came through for me outright against the Nets, who are terrible. Shout out to KD for getting destroyed in your first game.
Yeah.
But
yeah. I saw that plus 195 and said, "Hey, that's more money. Give me that."
That's some extra bold NBA picks. But in any event, we will see you guys Monday or Tuesday night with the main show to recap all these games we've been talking.
Sounds good.
Subscribe.